Welcome, everybody. Welcome to today. And I'd like to introduce you to the first of the interview it's called an interview spotlight, where I'll be interviewing Nina Klützke. And today we're going to be talking about modern day deficiencies, meridians, and how yin yoga can help us with this. And thank you, whoever's joined us. I can see Jonathan is joining, and Pernille, thanks very much. If you could just tell us where you are calling from, where are you based, for example. And just to let you know, if you can't join, if you can't join now, you can send in any comments. And also, I will be having a look at the comments. So if during the interview you have any questions, please put them below, and then we can answer them. Nina will be answering them at the end. And also, if you are watching the replay, you could join. So, wow, good morning. So we have Pernille from Denmark. We have Veronica from Portugal. We have Rosa, who is from Spain. So that's wonderful. Lovely to see people joining us today. So as it's just past past, let's start. And first of all, Nina, how are you this morning?
Fine, thank you.
Good, good.
Good morning, everyone from Germany. I think I'm the only one yet from Germany.
Okay. So Nina, just to start off, could you give us a little overview of you? Who is Nina, and what is your interest in traditional Chinese medicine?
Yes, of course. I'm a Western doctor, ENT, ear, nose, throat doctor, with my own surgery in the west of Germany. And as I started my surgery, I announced that there are many problems from people, many illnesses, which you cannot explain and cannot treat with Western medicine. So in about 2005, I started interesting in acupuncture and in Chinese medicine, Chinese dietetics, and found this more fulfilling, giving more answers to the questions that the patients have. Right. And now I'm also a teacher on acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I have 2 master degrees, and I'm on the board of the biggest society for acupuncturists in Germany, medical acupuncturists.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So so you mentioned that you are a Western doctor. You trained as a Western doctor. And what is for you, if you could just give us a brief idea of what for you is the main difference between Chinese medicine and Western medicine? What did you find interesting? What drew you to Chinese medicine?
The most interesting thing is that it's a preventive medicine. You don't, the optimum would be if you treat an illness before it comes to the body. Yeah. In maybe 2000 years ago, the Chinese people the doctors treat patients who are no patients, who have no illness, just to look after them, where is a lack of something, where is plenty of energy, and to try to give this better, to give advices what to do, which food to eat, which exercise to do, and how to live their lives. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So could you give us just like a very quick example? So if you looked at someone, what sort of quick example could you give us of how Chinese medicine is different?
Yeah, very easy. For example, as everyone knows, it's in the dietetics, the Western dietetics, everyone says salad is a very good food, very healthy, a lot of vitamin in, so you have to eat. But in Chinese medicine, this is different. If you say, if someone has a lot of cold inside the body, it's not good for him to eat a lot of salad. It's different. It depends on what does the salad in the person do. Yeah, how does he feel after he has eaten this? And this is totally different.
Right. Okay. And so, okay, so is this maybe connected with what we call, what I've heard is meridians? So meridians and organs or something like that, if you could explain
this
that
is part. It's a part of this. Okay. the idea of the meridians is that we have energies in the body, the chi, it's called chi, which flows in some like railways like this, but it's not a railway in one direction. It's like circles, and we have 3 circles, one in the front, one in the back, and one on the side.
Wow.
And the meridians, each circle is formed up by 4 meridians. Right. And the energy flows and has to flow. And if there is a stagnation, if the energy cannot flow, so you have a problem. You have pain or something. Yeah, normally you have pain in this, so you cannot move exactly, things like that.
Okay. And then how is this connected with organs? Because organs are somehow connected with meridians?
Yes. Yeah. To each meridian has a name. For example, lung, which connects with is also connected with the lung, the organ. Yeah, but it means also more than this. It means also an emotion. It's also the how do you say, the psychologic aspect is always in it. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And you have, for example, in the front body, the 4 meridians are lung, stomach, spleen, what's it called in, and large intestine. Yeah. And you always have 2, with each meridian you have 2 organs who comes with it. Yeah. And also emotions.
Okay.
This makes a system of functions that are completed with.
Right. So then in Chinese medicine, the view of the organ is different to the view of Western medicine, where they just see the organ as just a physical thing. Right?
Yeah. At least it's nearly the same. For example, if you take the liver, it's also the blood will be has a function of cleaning the blood, things like this, but has more functions. It's also the place for the emotions of anger, but also creativity. And always means more than only the small part of the organ.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting, huh? Okay. So you in previous in the discussions before, we were talking about the fact that you had identified some deficiencies that you connect to, the modern day living. So could you give us some examples of those? And
I think there are 2 main deficiencies, 2 main problems many people have. First comes out of the things you eat, but also about how much you eat. And this doesn't only means the food, also means the dimensional food. Yeah, you have to transform. If you have a lot of work at the computer, your body, your brain has to transform a lot of pictures, which is much more work for the body than if you read a book, or if you listen to something, or if you're doing work in the garden, things like that. And we are overflowing this system of transformation with too much information at work the whole day. And many people sit in the evening watching TV, which is the same problem.
Right.
And the other side is the things we eat, the food, the dietetics, are also very, very complicated for our bodies, because they are not food as it comes from the garden, which is the good one. Very often there are a lot of things in there, like things to prepare them to stay there a long time. Good. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is very difficult for the body to transform. This is a system spleen and stomach, which means much more than in the Western medicine, because this is a system of transformation. Yeah, right. And we overload this transformation system, and what happens that it cannot work properly.
Yeah,
and the result is there will be a lot of dampness, a lot of water in the body, right. And if the dampness stays for a long time, then there will be phlegm in the body. Yeah, and you can see this, for example, if in summer your fingers getting bigger, yeah, you cannot move very well, or your feet are always big, or you have problems with digestion. Right. Yeah, you have which is too thin, or things like that, or you have to go to the toilet very often, right. The day. Or you have also in the emotional part, you have a lot of sorrows. You are always thinking the same things, turning in a circle. This is the problem. Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. Huh? That's really interesting.
And it's especially for kids where the system, which the system is not ready, which is normal because right. They just have to grow. The things they eat, for example, the milk from the cow, which is very complicated, right. And also wheat, yeah, which is made by an industrial way, prepared in an industrial way, which is always very complicated for them, which right. causes a lot of problems for them.
So would you say that because of this could be a way to explain why younger people seem to get more allergies, or there seems to be more allergies nowadays?
This is maybe later on a problem. The younger children have more problems with phlegm, like in the ears, for example, or a lot of coughing, a lot of lung problems. Yeah, okay. And the allergies, which is later on when they're about 8.
Yeah,
like this.
So what you were saying before was that because people have this overload, not just of the digestion in this, the stomach area, but also in the head, this affects us as adults, and as children, it's perhaps even more serious.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. There are some people who have more problems with this, and some who are not, but most of the people have this problem.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of the people that come to you have this issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's very interesting. And is there another deficiency that you've mentioned that you think is serious? Well, yes. That you've noticed a lot.
Yeah. The other one is, I think a little bit there are more women who have this. It's about the liver, as I explained a little bit before. The liver, the Chinese people say the liver is always affected by emotions. And there are always emotions like pressure at work. Yeah. Also, when you cannot express yourself properly, cannot express your ideas, always have pressure from everyone, pressure in your family, or if you haven't learned, if you are angry, how to express this. This is a very often problem. Yeah. Especially because of the anger is not an emotion which everyone likes. Yeah, nobody likes anger. Yeah? If you're angry, this is not very welcome to.
Yeah.
So a lot of people put this down just not to mention this. Yeah, this makes a lot of problems in the body. Yeah.
So can you explain why specifically women? And not men, or are men? It's easier or more socially acceptable for men to be angry, or
yes, that's the explanation. Okay. Yeah, they have, but not so often as the women. For women, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, to be angry from women is not very socially accepted. Yes.
Yeah. And so, what impact does this have on women? What do you see? What happens to women?
What happens is that you cannot feel this energy, which is the most important thing. Just to feel it's just an emotion. Nothing happens. Yeah, you are angry. Okay, you are angry and it goes away. Yeah, or you are searching for the words. Not tired. What is it? Okay, just another one. And the point is only just to feel it. Nothing will happen. Yeah, but most of them don't feel this. Put this in the body. Yeah, right. And in the side of the body, it makes a stagnation from the liver energy, which makes a lot of problems. Right. You can feel this. Very many women have cold feet and cold hands. Okay. Yeah, a lot of women know this. Yeah, a lot of men also. When yes, and you can do the diagnosis of your own. What happens to this cold fingers and hands when you move? Yeah, when you walk 10 minutes or 20 minutes, a little bit fast. What happens? Are the feet colder than before, or are they warm? If they are warm, this has been a stagnation. The energy is there, and it has been released just by walking. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Movement releases this energy. Yeah. Right. And if you don't release it, then the liver makes very bad things in your body, because it attacks the stomach, it attacks the spleen, and maybe the lung. It tears energy from the kidney. Right. This is always a Chinese word. Yeah. It always means the Chinese organs, and this makes a lot of problems, especially when this goes for a very long time, maybe 20 or 30 years. Yeah. Okay. And so, could this also perhaps be linked to depression? People getting depressed? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very often, that is a problem like this. Yeah, which means not to anxiety as well. Anxiety, it depends. Okay. It is really anxiety. Normally, is a problem from the heart. Okay. This is another one. Okay. Really, fear. This is kidney. This is a little bit, but depression is very often it's from the liver. This is right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Fascinating. Okay. So we've established two sort of major areas of modern day deficiencies. And could you now move us to some solutions? And so we had been discussing how yin yoga has some type of benefit. So could you explain why there is this belief? So yeah, yin yoga is very close to the Chinese medicine, because you can detect every pose you have has a specific influence of some meridians. So when you're doing yin yoga and you find out any pose makes big problems, so you can ask you, for example, or your teacher, your yin yoga teacher. You can have a look at the book and see which meridians are treated by this pose, and can detect the deficiency you have. Yeah. Okay. So, for example, let's just look at the two problems that you had mentioned. So, for example, if I have a problem with phlegm, as you were saying, what are some poses that could help? You can, maybe you have, when you have problems with phlegm, depends on where the phlegm is. It's different. It depends on how much yang you have in your body. Yeah, if you don't have very much, maybe this is in the feet or in the legs. Right. But in general, you can say, for example, if you do the sphinx, moving, bending the front side of your body. If this is difficult, maybe there's a problem there. Or in the upper body, when you move your arms to the back, if you are not able to do this properly, like this or behind, there could be a problem. All these things where you have to bend the front side of your body, right? And you should exercise these things, like sphinx, and do some of those poses. Yeah. Okay. And if you have the problem with the liver, what poses would be recommended? This is a circuit from the side, and each pose which rotates the body is good for this.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, the shoelace or the bananasana, for example, or everything which rotates is very good for this.
Okay, that's very interesting. So people that have those issues should be doing sort of a bit more rotation, twisting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For the liver, especially, it's liver and gallbladder, which are the two meridians which are connected. Everything with the hip. Someone who has liver stagnation problems very often has problems in opening the hips. Also the glute muscles, which are very, very intense, very hard. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And then just another thing, can you explain a little bit this connective tissue that we hear about so much? That's really difficult to explain. Can you just explain to us your understanding of connective tissue and how yin can help with connective tissue?
It's very easy.
Yeah,
no problem. This is also the system that we discussed before. It's a system of spleen and stomach. In the connective tissue, this is a place where the transformation will work, where it works, where it happens. Yeah.
Okay. But Nina, before we continue, can you just tell us as a person, a medical person, what is connective tissue? Because it's quite a difficult thing for to explain as a lay person. So if you can just give us your quick description of what is connective tissue.
Yeah, it's everything without the muscles like this. No, this is the material between the cells. Yeah.
Okay.
For example, you have cells in the muscle or in the organ, and in between there is the connective tissue, which connects everything. Right. And this is the place where transformation is done in your body.
Okay. So when you talk about transformation, you mean stressing or stretching that to make some change? Is that what you? Talking about.
This is what Yin-yoga says. What will be done there. Yeah. Now, before everyone thought it's training the muscles is a good idea, but maybe because this problem of the problems with the phlegm and these connective tissues are getting more and more in this society. Someone had found out that training this connective tissue or the fascias, which is very similar, is a good idea because it helps, to get this better.
So it's the slow stretching that is going to help with this transformation. That's going to help with the energy flowing between the different cells.
It's as you know, it's totally different from training the muscles. The muscles you have to warm up. The fascias and the connective tissue you train by a cold body. You just start. You just answer the body how much relaxation is possible for me now. No?
Okay, right. Okay, very interesting. Excellent. Okay, I'm just going to have a look at just see, okay, so as I mentioned, so thank you to everybody who's joining us from the UK, from Greece. Sorry if I missed anybody else. If you have any questions, we're going to take some questions now. I'm just going to look at some questions that have come up. So from Pernil, I have a question, which is, can you diagnose from bodily stiffness? So if you stiff, I think she's trying to say, if you feel stiff in the body, what would that be? What meridian maybe would that be, or organ?
Yes, you can, as I explained before. If you have a problem in the shoulder, you can diagnose by yourself. I can show, I think. If you have problems by putting your arm back, this is the problem from the front circuit,
Okay.
As we discussed before, which is spleen, stomach, problems of edema, and phlegm and dampness. Yeah. If you have a problem moving your arm like this upwards, this is the liver problem, liver gallbladder. Yeah. And if you have a problem putting this in front, this is we haven't discussed this because it's not so very often. This is a problem of the back circuit, which is kidney and urinary bladder. So you can diagnose by yourself. You can look where the problems are and choose the poses that you need.
Right. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. So then, she's also asking, Pernille, the same one. Are there other things that help, not just poses, for example, diet?
Yes.
So for example,
yes.
So let's take the phlegm issue. So I actually have a problem. I have a problem with phlegm, and so perhaps 15, 20 years ago, I stopped drinking milk.
Yes,
and
good idea.
I know it made me feel really better because I try to follow what my body is saying to me.
Yeah.
And I discovered that stopping drinking milk or anything related to that really helped. So would that be an example?
This is a very, very big thing to talk about. I think it's a little bit too much now. But in general, the most difference is just to hear what your body says to you. It's very, very, very easy. Just if you eat something, just remind how you feel after this. If someone says, oh, this is wonderful, this is so healthy, you have to eat it, and you feel very tired after this and you cannot move, it's not the right thing for you. Maybe it's healthy for another one, but not for you. Very easy. But there are some things who are very often a problem. For example, as I said, milk from the cow. There's no problem with vegetarian milks like Haver, things on. So we are very often is also a problem.
Right.
There's no problem with milk from sheeps and
sheep. Okay. Yeah.
This is no problem. What's the other one?
Goat.
Yeah, goat. I was goose, but no, goat. Yeah, this is easier. It's the protein in the milk. It's not because of the sugar, not without lactose. This is not the problem. Yeah, it's always the protein which is difficult for us.
Okay, right. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so let me just go for a few other questions. So Alexia is asking, what would an old Chinese doctor do for phlegm before it starts building up to prevent it?
Yeah, as we discussed before, looking at the food you eat.
Yeah. Okay.
Looking also on your daily routine. Yeah. Right. If you have had, like we now, Zoom conference, and this is not so difficult, not so very often changing pictures. This is easy for your body. Okay. But if you are working the whole day on the computer, it's not a good idea to look at your tablet or at the television. It's a better idea to go outside to do some garden work or take a walk. Yeah. Just to not to overload the system once more, and also to eat food which you prepared by your own and which is not prepared before. Convenience food is a very bad idea.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's fascinating. So if you're feeling that, the idea would be just to try to alternate your day. So it's not always I work all day, I come home, I watch television, I look at my tablet. It should be I work all day and then I go out, I go for a walk, I do, things like that. Yeah.
As you know, our lives now are very young dominated, and if you have free time in the evening or whenever, you have to look to do yin things, for example, yin yoga. Yeah.
So just for people that aren't in the yoga world, just explain quickly what is yang, just for people.
Yang is the masculine part, the activity. It is sunny side of the mountain. It is. This is normally when you work, when you're awake, you are young. And if you are walking, watching birds, doing garden work, singing, playing the piano, or doing yin yoga, all these things are yin, which are this is the female part of the whole system, and which has to do with restoration, with getting more energy.
Okay, so it's more creative, it's more just time with yourself, and not exterior, not so much exterior, more interior. Okay, wow. Okay, I think we have one more question here, which is good books to read.
Oh, in English. Sorry, I have to look at this, and maybe I can write this afterwards in the group if there are some in English. I know some in German, but
okay. Well, I can give for people out there. I can just give the two that I would use, and the one is the complete guide to yin yoga. I think everybody who has practiced yin yoga knows about that. But this is by Bernie Clark. I'll also include it later on. I'll perhaps have a little post where we can include the recommended books. But that for me is a really good book to start with. It's very complete. He describes the poses. He gives a background on yin, and he also has a section which talks about the poses for different issues that you have, the different deficiencies. If you are German, if you buy this book, it has wonderful pictures, but for some reason, the English version doesn't have the pictures of the different poses. So that's really useful, if you are German and you can get hold of that. But the English edition that I have doesn't have it. And then the other one is the person that started with the idea of yin yoga. So I think Paulie Yink was the first one, and then he inspired Sarah Powers as well, and Paul Grilly is the other person. And Paul Grilly's book is Yin Yoga, Principles and Practice. So if you didn't get that, I can also include that later on in the post. So any other questions, any other issues that you would like to perhaps close off with, Nina? Anything else?
I think so.
What would be your advice, for example, if a person thinks that perhaps they have some issue with the liver or some issue, for example, they have too much phlegm or something, should they auto-diagnose, or would it be advisable to connect with someone who is a traditional Chinese medicine expert? What would you recommend?
It depends on how severe this is. Okay. If you have larger problems, you cannot do anything wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's always a good idea to be grateful what your body shows you. Where are the problems is. This is the main thing, I think, not to be angry what doesn't work with your body, just to say, okay, thank you. Okay, I will have a look at this. Well, what is the problem? What can I learn from this? This is the main advice, I think.
That's fascinating, because this is what I love about yin yoga, because it's all about doing the poses and listening to your body, and your body tells you, your body is educating you. But we are so busy on outside things. With outside things, we're not listening to that. And just before we go, I just remembered something. How is acupuncture connected with meridians? Can you just explain that part? Because I'm not really clear on that.
Yeah, as I said, the meridian is like a railway, but there are like stations. There are points where you can easily affect the body, treat the body over these points where the energy is very, very tense.
Okay, so if you felt that stagnation, that phlegm, that phlegm issue, or the stress, maybe you feel the stress, or even the problems with digestion, if you had acupuncture, would that help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not with everything. Acupuncture is only a part of the Chinese medicine. There are some more things like dietetics, like Tuina, which is the Chinese massage, with Qigong. Yeah.
Right.
Not yoga, because it's not Chinese. What is it for? And also Chinese internal medicine, which means to give Chinese herbs. If phlegm is very severe in your body, it will not work, and only if you make an acupuncture. You have to take some herbs also.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
because you just have to broke it in the body, so the body can get rid of it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Not only possible with the needles.
Right. So it's encouraging people to think about their body, reflect on what their body is telling us or telling them, and not just looking for an external application, but also thinking about for yourself, about what you can do about your diet to influence this as well, which I think for me perhaps is also, the typical reaction for many of us is, oh, I have a problem, let me go to the doctor, and the doctor can give me medicine. But we need to change that mindset and be thinking about what can I do, listening to my body, perhaps going to an expert and changing that in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You can, as a doctor, you can always reach a hand and just take one step more. Yeah, this is what a doctor does. The other steps you have to do by your own.
Yeah.
But a doctor can give you advice to say, okay, the problem is over there. You should eat this. This is better. Or you should move like this. Or
okay, right. Wow. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. So thank you very much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
And I hope we can do a few more like these, because I think there's lots more to discuss. And have a lovely day. And thank you, all of you, for joining us today. Please leave your comments and we'll try to get back to you on a few of them. And as I said, I will also be posting some suggestions of books together with Nina, if Nina has can add them, and we can translate them from German to give you some suggestions. So thanks again, and if you missed this, watch the replay and take care and have a wonderful day. Okay, goodbye. Bye, everybody.